Alright, I'm just going to do a short little video here going over some new equipment that I have for fishing. I have obviously the Baitcaster Lunkers TV Defender rod that I had in my previous videos. I have the Cabela's Arachnid. Obviously the manufacturer was Daiwa. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right, maybe not. But still getting to learn how to use that reel. I've kind of honed it down a little bit, but it still takes a lot of practice, and it's still, even some of the pros that I've seen use these still end up, screwing up and getting the bird's nest and whatever. I think I have the tension set a little too tight to prevent that, but like I said, I'm still working on all that stuff, the braking system and all that. It's an interesting contraption, that's for sure. I still haven't figured out how to properly cast it very well at all. But anyways, so I'm still working on that. I really like the rod. I wish they made the Lunkers TV Defender in a two-piece in the spinning rod format. They only make it in one piece, and I ended up buying one, as you can see back there in that big, huge tube. They do have the one-piece spinning rod, which I ended up just biting the bullet and buying because I wanted to set up another rod. So I have three total. Getting kind of pricey when it comes down to it, but again, you gotta pay to play, I guess. So after having this one, I wanted to get a spinning rod format as well. So I ended up going with a St. Croix, made here in Wisconsin, U.S. made rod and everything, and it's a really high quality rod. This is what they call the Icon, which is a kind of walleye rod or something. It's a medium light, and it's really, really, really nice. I started with the line weight that was too heavy, and that caused a few issues. But once I stepped it down to 8-pound test, 8-pound Trilene, the XL, and it is perfect. I mean, this thing is excellent. The reel that I'm running is the Stratic, right here, C3000HG. Excellent reel. Kind of one of those things where I looked at it for a while and I'm like, that just looks right. I think it's gonna fit right. It feels right. Super smooth, and I really cannot say anything bad about that reel. I've used it quite a bit so far. Definitely one of my favorite setups. I have not gone to my other rod yet, the one that I just bought back in the corner there, but I bought that, and I was going to figure out what kind of reel I'm going to get. Well, there's two different reels I'm looking at. One that I ended up just buying because I got a deal on it, and the other one I might still end up buying anyways because I'm kind of torn between the two from the get-go. I kind of want to try both and actually use both, get some experience with both, not just handle it in the store and hope for the best when I get out there. The one that I have now that I just purchased is the Ballistic LT 2500D XH. So there's some pretty awesome things about that reel, and the reason why I decided to just go with this one over the Shimano variant, kind of similar to it anyways, not quite, and I'll show you the differences. But of course, I buy this reel finally, and it's right here. It's just really a sweet looking reel. It's going to go well with the rod too, which is another awesome thing about it. Super lightweight, but so if you look at this is a 2500. They have the 3000, which would be what I think would be comparable to the Stratic back there, C3000HG. But you look at the 8-pound line test capacity, it's 240 yards, right, for nylon. But you look at the Stratic, which you think would have more capacity, being that it's the 3000, but the 8-pound test is only 170 yards. How does that make any sense? 8.1 ounces is the weight of the reel, 20-pound drag, 6.0 gearing, 6 bearings, 35-inch. But anyways, this one weighs in only at 6.3 ounces, where if I were to get the Ballistic LT 2500, has different letters after that. I don't remember what the hell they were, but then you'd be looking at, I think, 270 yard capacity, where this one has 240 yards for 8-pound test. So it's already a huge step up in line capacity. The drag is a little more, like 22 pounds, where that one was 20. And it's 6.2 to 1 gearing. It's 6.3 ounces, though. So it's substantial weight difference right off the bat, 8.1 to 6.3. The Ballistic LT 3000 is like 6.5 ounces, so it's not much of a weight difference, and it's got more capacity, of course. But, so that was one of the reasons why I went with this reel. But, on top of that, again, the reason why I'm kind of debating of just picking up the other reel as well, because of course Cabela's sends me this, and the Shimano Stradic CI4 Plus, which is the other one that I was talking about. That's the Shimano comparable reel, I guess, to the Ballistic. They're both about the same exact price, $230. And again, this one, the 3000 model, and this is just like the Stradic that I have back here. It's just a lighter weight overall, but otherwise it's almost the same dang thing. And the capacity is the big difference. And one of the guys at one of these stores, both Cabela's and Gander, both mentioned that it seems like the Daiwa reels have a much better line capacity from the get-go for a similar model. And so that's one of the reasons why I went with this. Plus, I was able to get it a bit cheaper than the larger model, because I really don't need a substantial amount of line capacity. It's just kind of nice to have. So this one's still, even the lesser model, is still, you know, holding a heck of a lot more line than the Stradic. So that's kind of interesting. But again, the St. Croix rod, I really like it. Didn't think I would, but at the same time, they're excellent rods. I know that from the get-go. My dad has used them over the years. He swears by them, and I can't say anything bad about them. They're excellent, very, very nice. You can feel everything through them. Pretty sweet. And so the Defender rod that I have back there, that'll be awesome to set up with the Ballistic here. And like I said, I might end up getting the other Stradic too, just to try them both and to have them both. I can set them up differently, so I have different line on them. Because like I looked into getting a second spool to have a different, you know, spool with different line on it, and like run about $60-something just for a spool. You got to special order it and all that crap, and I'm like, you know, that's a lot of pissing around. I could just throw another reel on there too, but they're not cheap. You know, $230 is a hell of a lot for a fishing reel. But then again, there's some that are even twice or three times that price, which is insane, but whatever. But that would be the other one that I would get, and quite possibly will get. But we'll see. It might be further down the road, but anyways, there you go. A little look at some future content. I do have some images and all that stuff of actually out there fishing, but don't have any videos or anything for the most part. But and it does have the handle. I just didn't take it out of the box. Just an FYI. It's in there somewhere. If I can get it out. There we go. So one thing, the difference too between the 3000 and the 2500 model of the Ballistic, the 3000 has this handle right here, which, you know, it's just a straight out handle as far as like the grippy portion of it, where the 3000 has a handle similar to the Stradic here, where it's got the T to it. And I kind of like that, but at the same time I don't mind this either, because this is kind of what I was originally used to anyways. But I got used to this, and I actually kind of prefer this, but I'll try this one and go from there. But that's pretty much it. Again, I don't have a huge tackle box. I did find my old tackle box from years ago. Found some of the lures that were usable out of it, and the majority of them were not. So I set myself up with a small one here, just a few bucks worth of a box here, and then some rather expensive lures. But I got Rapalas, some jigs. Most of this stuff is just stuff I tried to salvage out of my old tackle box. There's a Clio, a spoon. But yeah, that's pretty much it so far. I have a few more odds and ends, separate Rapalas that are still in the boxes originally here. But anyways, so there you go. I already dragged this video on long enough. But yeah, so future videos, future stuff coming down, more fishing stuff. This is probably going to be all I'm going to get. I'm only going to have 3 rods, maybe 4 reels total, and then that's going to be it. A bunch of different lures and jigs, of course, but that's all you really need. So I don't really see the point of having more than 2 rods out at a time unless I'm on a boat or I'm fishing with somebody else. But 1 rod is usually more than enough to handle, especially when you're casting a Rapala and reeling it back in and casting it and reeling it back in, or even with the jig. I don't do bobbers yet. I have in the past, but I will in the future, but it probably will be a while before I do that again. Anyways, there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoy some of these videos. And again, if you guys have any input on the ballistic or the Stratic or even the Arachnid Cabela's baitcaster, let me know. I would be curious to see other people's experiences with them and hear any input you guys have. And otherwise, you guys have an awesome day. And if you guys are into fishing, whatever, that's awesome, and keep on keeping on. Hopefully you guys catch some big ones out there.